At 3:42 a.m. on February 14, 2020, a house in a quiet Asheville neighborhood went up in flames. Firefighters battled the blaze for nearly 2 hours before containing it. Once inside, they discovered the charred remains of a woman in the master bedroom. The medical examiner identified the victim as Ava Sinclair, a well-known real estate agent and single mother of 2. Her children, fortunately, had been away visiting their grandparents that weekend. Initially, her death was thought to be an accident, until the autopsy revealed she had died before the fire. She had blunt force trauma to the back of her head and evidence of manual strangulation. Arson investigators determined the fire had been started in 3 separate places using gasoline. This wasn't a tragic accident. It was a cover-up. Police began investigating Ava's recent contacts. She had reportedly ended a romantic relationship a few weeks earlier. Friends described the ex-boyfriend as charming but possessive. His name? Bryce Halterman, a 44-year-old contractor she had met while renovating one of her listings. Bryce had a criminal past, domestic disputes, a stalking charge, even a restraining order filed by a former girlfriend. Ava had broken things off after finding inappropriate texts on his phone and noticing controlling behavior. In texts retrieved from her phone, Ava had written to a friend, "I think Bryce is watching me. I'm scared of what he'll do." Surveillance footage from a neighbor's doorbell camera showed Bryce's truck parked outside Ava's home the night of the fire. Cell tower data placed Bryce's phone in the area around 2:45 a.m., just an hour before the fire began. When questioned, Bryce claimed he was home sleeping and denied any involvement, but evidence mounted. Gasoline cans were found in his garage and traces of accelerant were found on his boots. Security footage from a gas station captured Bryce filling a gas can just hours before Ava's murder. Bryce was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, arson, and tampering with evidence. At trial, prosecutors painted a picture of a jealous man who couldn't handle rejection. They argued that Bryce killed Ava in a fit of rage, then torched the house to destroy evidence and make it look like an accident. The defense attempted to argue there was no direct evidence linking Bryce to the murder itself. But combined cell data, surveillance, forensic evidence, and motive left little room for doubt. Bryce's ego couldn't accept being rejected, and he wanted to destroy what he couldn't have. Bryce was found guilty of first-degree murder and arson. In April 2022, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole.